I'm going to teach you today a tutorial on how to create a low poly glass bottle using the Blender Python API. Now before we begin, quick reminder, I do a live stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can simply join the live stream by going to jambo.com and you check the watch menu and live sub menu. And also you're free, when you join the live chat, obviously you're free to join and post anything about programming or lifestyle topics. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. The reason I'm a little bit anxious is because last night I tried to do a multiple live stream, and it did not, obviously did not work, and I found out why. So I'll explain that tonight. So I'm going to have another live stream tonight, and I'll explain how I resolved it. It had something to do with the AMD GPU, and also because when I upgraded my system, I didn't reinstall the operating system. I just copied the hard drive SSDs over. So I'll explain how I resolved all that last night, and as of right now, I should be streaming to YouTube. Looks like YouTube is working. I should also be streaming to Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute all at the same time. Okay. So continuing on here, as you can see here, I do have a demonstration. Oh, there's also there's two bonuses as well. As you can see, the bottle is also going to be, as you can see, it's going to be glass. It has a lid, which is just a cork inside, and also you see I'm also using an HDR texture, and I'll show you how all that is done. Let me pull up the folder here. Yes, I forgot to pull up the folder. There we go. So here's the folder, and I'm also going to open up the GNOME text editor, just so that you guys can see the code I'm using. Just give me a second. And of course, we also need the command line. So I'm going to open up the command line here, and I'll put it, make the command line a little bit smaller so you can see. Oh, you can even see what's going on here. Oh, it's really small. Okay, that's why it's hard to tell. Okay, there we go. Let me clean it up a little bit here first. I'm using Fedora Linux, but you should be able to run this in any operating system, Mac OS, or even Windows. Windows now does have the Windows, what is it called? Windows Service Linux, whatever you call it. So the command should, so it's clear, forgot to click. Okay, so there we go, zoom in. Okay, now, so this is obviously a beginner-friendly tutorial, and you're going to learn how to generate a 3D glass bottle, as you can see here in Blender, using the Blender Python API. You can export it as a GLB file. So the GLB file is actually a glTF file by the Kronos group, and the B stands for binary, so it's a binary format, because by default the glTF, it's a JSON file, basically text, and so if you have a lot of if you have textures and other things, it's kind of a massive text file like that. It will be hard to, even to this day in 2025, open up in a plain text editor to see what's going on, which it makes it easier to be human readable, but it will be way too large and to be very useful. So having a binary file, if you know how to read the specs, you'll be fine. So that I chose a binary file, just easier. So we're going to display it in a web browser. What we're going to do simply is use the model viewer. It's a CDN. Okay, so what else do we have here? This is a great way if you're starting out with Python to combine code for visual creativity. So I was actually talking to somebody yesterday where they want to use something similar to this, for example, to have 3D models on the web. Or for example, I gave an example where there's where I'm subcontracting. A while back, pre-lockdown, they wanted to have like a shoe just upload some images and they should resize, twist, zoom in, zoom out, with different textures, and also so people can see the different sizes. The technology wasn't there even back then, but it is today, and it's pretty easy to do. So with that said, I do have the code here, so I don't waste time your time. You see the Python code here for Python script, and then to run it, you just run blender space -b for background, and then space -p, capital P, for Python, and then the name of the file, and then that will generate the code. So you can just take that, open up Blender, paste it in the Blender scripting tab or scripting workspace, and then you can export it inside Blender. Or you can, if you follow the tutorial today, you can do everything right in the Python script. So the Python script can also save, create a blend file, and obviously export a GLB file. So that way you do need to have Blender and Python, but I'm saying you don't need to open up Blender. But I'm going to open up just because it's easier to explain what's going on. So as you can see here, I have this blend file and this GLB file. So I'm going to delete those two, and I'm just going to stay with the Python file. So I'm going to open up the Python file and the HTML file just in the text editor. So what I do is just right click and I go open with, I'm going to use the text editor here, the num text editor. Okay, so let's go check them out. Let's start with the Python file first. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for people who want a visual on the vertical screens so they can see what's going on. I hope the YouTube, it says excellent connection, but I'm not seeing the others. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully the others are also working. Well, we'll find out when the live stream is over. Okay, excuse me. So as usual, the first thing we do is we import the Blender Python module. Then we import OS. You don't need to import OS. I like to import OS so that I'm able to save the blend file and the GLB file relative to where the Python file is. I like to keep everything in the same folder. But if you don't do that, by default it will save it into your home folder, so you have to go in different places. So if you save everything in your home folder somewhere else, that's perfectly fine, but I like to keep things relative to each other. So the first thing we do is we delete all the existing objects. So as of 2025, Blender 4.5, which is a long-term support release, LTS, Blender will, if you open up Blender, it will have the default cube, it will have a default light, and a default camera. So we don't need any of those items, so that's why we're deleting them. The other reason I see some people, what they do is they like to use the default camera, the default cube. I don't like doing that because in the future Blender might decide to not have anything by default, or they might add more objects. So if somebody is following that tutorial in the future, they'll be completely confused, go, hey, what about this? So that's why I delete everything and then add the ones that I need. It's also better that way because it's less code, because I don't have to create a loop or something, loop through everything to delete it. I just or to give it a name, so I don't have to worry about that. If you create your own, it's just easier because it's ready. When you create something, it's already pre-selected. It also makes it much easier. So as you can see here, we select all and then we delete. The module bpy.ops.object.select_all, and then to delete, it's the same thing, except obviously we replace select all with delete. Pretty simple. All right, then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the bottom part of our bottle. So what we do here, we use the UV sphere. So it's bpy.ops.mesh.primitive_uv_sphere_add. And we give a radius of 1, we give the location 0, 0, 1. So if you don't know what the location is, it's X, Y, Z, or Z, depending what country you're in. And then you see we make it the active object, and then we scale it along vertically. So that's the Y direction, we scale it because we want it elongated. A bottle is elongated, so we make it a 1.8. Okay, and then we need the neck, because the neck is going to be obviously more thinner than the rest of the body. So after that, we use another. In this case, we use a cylinder. So it's bpy.ops.mesh.primitive_cylinder_add, and we give that a radius of 0.3, a depth of 1, and the location is 0003. Okay, so in this time we're doing it on the z-axis, so that's a location in 3D space. Okay, and that we're going to call that one, we're going to call it the neck. Okay, and then after that we need to join the neck and the body. So all we do is we select them, and then we just make it active, and we use bpy.ops.object.join. So we join them together. So instead of completely modeling, like we could take a big one and shape it this way, that takes too long. It's smarter just to use different objects and join them together as one. It's nice and simple. Okay, and then we use bpy.ops.object.shade_smooth to give it a smooth shading. After that, we create some materials. So we're going to create a glass material, bpy.data.materials.new, give it a name of glass material. Use nodes true. I think by default now it's always set to true, but in the past it was actually off, so you had to set it to true. So some people might be using an older version of Blender, and some people don't want to upgrade or cannot upgrade. So so the way the code is written, it will be more compatible for people who have an older version or a future version. It's nodes. Okay, then for the material mode, we're going to use the principled BSDF. Then for the transmission weight input, we set the value to 1. And then for the roughness, we set it to 0.05, and then we set the IOR to 1.45. The IOR will help give it a kind of a glossy see-through look. The roughness will just give it a glossy, slight gloss look, which is perfectly fine. Then we just append that to the body, and then after that, we're going to create a cork. We're going to use a mesh. We're going to use the bpy.ops.mesh.primitive_cylinder_add. Give that radius of 0.18, depth of 0.3, and the location will be 003.55. So the reason, if you might notice, hey, why is that overlapping with the neck? That's what we want. We want the cork to be slightly inside the bottle to give it to make our bottle actually even more realistic. Then after that, we just give the name cork, and then after that, for that cork material, we create a new material again and use nodes equals true. We use the principled BSDF. The base color, this one is just a base color. It's not glossy or see-through material. So we set that to the base color to 0.6, 0.4, 0.1, and 1. So I'll explain what this is. It's a brownish color. So a Blender uses radians, so meaning that the values have to be between 0 and 1. So that's why you see 0.6, 0.4, 0.1. So if you're converting, for example, RGB, you can do it in 128 or 255. So if you're doing 255, 255, which will be white, and 000 as black, obviously if you get it, just divide by 255 to get these values. And now if you are using 128, do the same thing. 128 you might have to do, I think it's the same thing, you just divide by 128. That should be perfectly fine. And the roughness will give it a 0.4 because we want it to have like a little matte type of finish, want it a little bit rough. So that's why we said it's pretty rough, 0.7, as opposed to this one, which was 0.05. So then we append the cork material to the cork, and then we give it a smooth shading, and yeah, so that's that, and then we're done. So now all we have to do is just save our blend file. So we just get the path. See, it says bpy.path.absolute path. So that's why, remember, I imported the OS. That's the reason why. The / just means it's going to be relative to where that path is, which is obviously where the Python file is. And you can see it, just give it a name here, low poly glass bottle.blend. And then we use bpy.ops.wm.save_as_main file, and just the file path. So that will save us a blend file. The reason I like to make a blend file is if I need to make any tweaks, I can go and tweak it myself. And then you can export the GLB, that's the glTF. So again, we use the bpy.path with absolute path. And then we just we append it, if you will, and then we use bpy.ops.export_scene.glTF. So obviously the file path is the one we just created there, and the export underscore format is GLB because we want the binary. I've explained that. If you don't put this part here, it's going to be a JSON file. And then we export apply, set that to true. If you're using any modifiers, I didn't use any modifiers, so technically I could probably remove this, but I just left it there. And the export materials, yes, because we want to have our colors and our everything else. Yes, so we want to export as well. So it's going to be exported inside the glbl file. So that's it. Now before we and then obviously for the to display it in the web browser, it's just HTML here. I'm not, obviously as usual, you need the doc type, HTML tag and the head section. I just put a title and I put a viewport so it'll be visible on the mobile device. I'll show you that later. And then we need to load this module. So this module is it's a CDN. It's unpack.com. I can see it's at Google/model-viewer. Okay, so I got the minified version, and then style here, you can style it any way you want. This is not necessary. This is not a styling tutorial as well. And then the most important part is right here. You see it's model -viewer, the source, which will be our GOB file, and then it's just an alt tag. That's not necessary. Here's we go. See auto rotate. It will rotate by itself. You guys will see that later. And then camera controls, AR. If you have what do you call those things? The 3D glasses, the AR, it'll work as well. And then the shadow hyphen intensity, I set that to 1. And then this is the bonus. So if you have an environment or texture, I just put environment hyphen image, and then the path to that environmental image. So if you notice here, it says courtyard.hdr. And I'll explain to you why that is. So by default, Blender uses EXR images. I believe the reason they do that is because they're more highly compressed than HDRs. So you can also use something also by the Kronos group. It's called KTX2. I think there used to be a KTX1, but you can use KTX2. The problem is, here's why I chose to use HDR. The problem is, I believe EXR and KTX2 are both free and open, what do you call it? They're not just open standards, but they're free and open source, meaning that you don't have to get a license or whatever to use them. The problem is that the support is not as widely supported as HDR. So meaning that HDR is more widely supported today. In the future, I don't know about the future, but at least today, and also in the past for environmental images. So EXR is probably supported at about time of this recording about 40% of web browsers. Okay, so that's not bad, but still, you see 40% is not even 50%. And then the KTX2 is probably around somewhere between 2 to 4%. So it doesn't matter which one is superior or not. The thing is, you want something that has wide support. So unfortunately, it's HDR. It's the same thing, say, with the codecs, video codecs H.264. There are other codecs, some of them allegedly superior, and they're open source, so you don't have to pay license fees or whatever. The problem is they're not as widely supported, especially if you want like hardware decoding and anything like that. So that's another reason. That's the way it is. So you have to support what is supported, unfortunately. If you guys want to learn about programming, you also have to make some compromises sometimes, and there we go. All right, so here I am on the command line. So I want to show you guys. So all you do, if you notice down here, there's only 3 files. So if I type blender space -b, the code is also here. So but the short form is just -b, or otherwise you have to type --, then the word background, and then after that capital P, or you can type --, and then type the word Python in lowercase, but I prefer the short form, and then space, and then the name of my Python file, and press enter. So you see what's going to happen. You just saw that very briefly. It's done, just like that. You see, I just modeled something in a few seconds. So before I get out of here, I'm going to start up a, which one should I use? Which one should I use? I think I should use, not sure. Okay, I need to start up a server, and I'll explain that in a second. But I'll start up the server now so we can finish the stuff on the command line. So I'm going to use Python, but you can use any server you want. The server, and the port number I'll use 8000, 8080. Okay, I'll use 8080. I'll use port 8080. Oops, what happened there? Is already in use. Oh yeah. I'm using it for the live stream. I forgot about that. Oops. Yeah. So that port is already used. So I have to use 8000. It's fine. I'll use 8000. Okay. So now you see I have a blend file here. So this blend file was created by Python. So I'm just going to double click on it, and it should open in Blender. Yes, it does. And here it is. So as you can see here, see that's the bottle. Now the reason you can't see it is I think to save people's GPUs and computers. They don't, Blender doesn't default to, I mean you can change it, but it doesn't default to the shading. So I have to go to the shading, this one here. Now you can see the bottle. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can see the bottle, so I can rotate it. So in case you're wondering why it looks like this, that's because it's using an environmental texture. I think the default one is grass or forest. Oh, it's forest. I think, yeah, it's forest. So you see it's using it's using the light. See, there's no camera. If you look here in the collection, there's no camera. So what it's doing is it's using the environmental texture, which is, as I said, the forest. So that's why you see it's wooden trees, the greens, and some dirt and all that. And you can see the lid here, which is a cork. See, that looks really it's a very simple thing. And all this was done in Python, by the way. Okay, so what you can also do is, if you go to the scripting tab up here, you can press new, and then you can paste the code in there, and you hit the, for example, if I press new here, I can then paste this script there, and then I can press this one to run the script, and it will generate the bottle as well. So that's another way to do it. And you can also go to, what's the other tab we can go to here? There should be shading. If you go to shading, you can see here, this is the forest, the forest, as I said before. You see, you can tell, you can see trees there, the sky, and down there there's dirt. So that's why it's picking up, you see the bottle is picking up all of those, it's picking up the proper lighting and everything. All right, and down here in the shading, you can see, obviously, because I've selected the bottle, no, sorry, I think the cork, yeah, the cork is selected. You can see the color here, the base color. So if I click this base color, I don't know if I can zoom in. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you see this hue, saturation value, and all that. That's the HSV. But if we go to red, green, blue, that's RGB. You can see it doesn't. It's not the usual numbers. I said Blender uses the radians 0 to 1, so that's why you see that. Okay, and obviously if I pick, for example, the bottle, you see the bottle has a different BSD, and it's not using you see the roughness and the IOR, and obviously the neck because it was joined, it's all the same. So that's Blender. We are not let me zoom in as well, forgot to zoom in, so there we go. Again, so that's it there. You can see the bottle there. All right, so we're done with Blender, so I can close Blender here. Don't save. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up a web browser. I'm going to use a Chromium web browser. Oh, looks like I'm already using Chromium web browser. Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm doing the live streams. Okay, so I have the Chromium web browser here opened up. So just make sure I have the proper name. So let me actually copy the name. Sometimes I do make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. I'll copy the name there. Oh man, it's hard. Come on. Is it frozen? What's going on here? Can I drag it? It's like it's frozen. It doesn't want to move. Oh, because I have this open. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we go to HTTP, and yeah, we can use, that's fine. You can use localhost or whatever, it doesn't matter. So I think it's 8000 and slash field. Oh, .html. I forgot .html. And you see, boom, that's our bottle. Now it's using a different texture here because the environmental texture it's using is called courtyard, as you saw right here. You see it's using the courtyard.hdr. The reason you see this is because I didn't want to copy the same image over and over again. You can see the size, it's actually 2.1 meg. So I didn't want to copy it several times. So this is just a what do you call it? It's a hyperlink to the image. If you want to see what the image looks like, I don't know if I can open it from here. Let me try to open up in GIMP. Oh, the GPU is running as well. Come on, there we go. Open with, I think I should be able to open up with GIMP. Where's GIMP here? GIMP, let's see. Let's see if this opens up. Yeah, so this is the actual this is the actual image. So if you don't know what an HDR image is, this is an HDR image. So you see, this is the one I'm using. It's a courtyard. So obviously the border is somewhere here. That's why it's picking up that very bright light color. So if I was to move it, for example, when I rotate it or move it somewhere else, like for example here, it's going to pick up this wooden texture and a little bit of shadows, even up to the dog, if I was able to move it. So in case the people who own vertical screens, you can see here. If you don't know what an HDR image is, so that's an HDR image. It's equidigital image. All right, so close that and let's go here. So you can clearly see, yeah. So there we go. You can actually see the dog. If you actually see this, you can actually see the dog. You can see the wooden textures and stuff like that. I actually didn't pay attention to this earlier. So that's from the HDR image. So for example, I can rotate this. You see that? I can go down here, and then you can even see more of that cabin or shed type of thing as well. So there we go. And you see that's the cork up there, and that's your bottle. So obviously this is probably not the best image to the forest one is actually pretty good. Or I could probably have picked maybe just a clear sunny day like dirt or whatever would have been a better one. But there you go, you can do whatever you want. And hey, I remember I promised you, so you see my hands, it should start rotating by itself in a few seconds. I'm going to put my hands up there until it starts rotating by itself. Come on, auto rotate. Come on. Do I have to refresh? I don't know, it's not auto rotating. Unless I've spelled auto rotate wrong, which I don't think I did. Okay, I give up. It's not going to do it. I'm gonna go to the same thing on my phone. Maybe it will start auto rotating. Okay, on the phone, I'll just go to. You have to find the IP address of your 196. So it's what it was 8,000. Yeah, 8,000. Then slash low hyphen poly hyphen glass bottle hyphen eottle.html. There we go. You see, you guys should see it now. It's on. It's also on the phone. Yeah, and the phone one is actually auto-rotating. I don't know why this one is not auto-rotating again. Well, let me actually refresh it. Maybe it will start auto-rotating if I refresh it. Nope, it's not. Oh, there it is. It's auto-rotating itself. Oh, sorry, I forgot. You can see. And I'm going to try to. There we go. You see, yeah. So there we go. Oh, that's a weird. Yeah, so I'll close that up. Yeah, see, it's auto-rotating by itself here. So if I go down here, for example, it should still auto-rotate by itself. I don't know because the GPU is working. Oh, again, I forgot to record. What's wrong with me? I gotta stop. I forgot to record this video again. Again, I gotta wait. All right. Anyway, so that's basically the tutorial. As you can see, it's working fine. There's no issues with it. And all the code is here, so you can expand this to get the Python script, and you can grab this. This is the HTML and paste it any way you want. And these are just screenshots. So depending on the type of environmental image you're using, yeah, there we go. So this is a live stream. Expand this to get the Python script, and you can grab this. This is the HTML and paste it any way you want. There we go. So it's just a few seconds behind. I do have some related resources for you guys if you want to go deeper. I do have a book called Learning Python. It's available on Amazon. It's beginner friendly, and there's also another book called Mastering Blender Python API. Both of them are available on Amazon. And I also have a course on ojamboshop.com. It's called Learning Python. The links are all in the description or in the article as well. And if you need more help, you can book a one-on-one session with me. I'm available for personalized online Python tutorials, including Blender scripting. You can contact me at ojambo.com/contact. Okay, so thank you for following along. Let me know in the comments how your 3D bottle turned out or what you'd like to build next. So before we end this, I want to let you know that I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. So basically just go to ojambo.com and then go to watch menu, live sub menu. You can see the topic for this tutorial and the date and time it's going to be, and then the one for tomorrow is this one right here. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for not just more frequent content, but it inspires me to make tutorials. If you have any requests, let me know as well. And what else? I also have another recommended resource that if you guys are, maybe you want to go, I guess, not camping. if you live in an area where your internet is not very good, or especially in a rural area like I am, and you're thinking of getting the SpaceX Starlink internet, which I'm using, I do have a referral link here. If you do click on it and obviously purchase the product, I do get 1 month free, so that's one way you can support me. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you're thinking of getting it, you actually, I believe you also get a discount if you actually click my referral link. And with that said, I forgot to do this, so I apologize. I'm going to show my book, or my novelette. I don't know if you guys can see that. You see, it's the Algorithmic Serpent. So there we go. That's a book. It's also available on Amazon. This one is about an author who, as it says right there, he creates an AI, and he ends up losing control and maybe even his own mind. So that book is available on the novelette is available on also available on Amazon. There's a ebook version and obviously a paperback version. Also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can actually get the ebooks, including all the programming books, for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. All right, I think with that I am gonna check the live chat. I don't see any live chats, so I am going to end this live stream in a few seconds. I'm gonna check Rumble and all those ones to see if the live stream there actually worked. I think I have to refresh the page to see if that actually worked. Looks like that did not work. BitChute did not work. Let me see if Odyssey worked. Odyssey is, it says Jumbo Shop's not live. Okay, let's go and check. Rumble. Rumble work. Rumble, it says people are waiting. Okay, so looks like that didn't work as well, so I have to go. Okay, take care of that. But for the rest of you guys, I'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. for a review of live streaming on multiple platforms. Hopefully it will be working by then. One more time. Okay, bye now. See you guys.